Characterize this year's group of bench
Diverse, versatile. There's just so many different ways that you can play with them, and so many different things that they're capable of. They can play a brand of small ball. They can all rotate the perimeter and play different spots on the perimeter. They can handle the ball. They can play off the ball. Defensively, there's so many different things you can do. You can switch them. They can shut down a guy, be disruptive. So I think versatile and diversified is the best way to explain it.
Why is that so hard with guys that come out of that?
Because you just got to plug gaps, and in any moment, it's what's needed in the game. It's like somebody's got something going, or some team is running something, or we need a spark here. You got a guy who you can go to for that particular thing, and you got multiple guys even that you can go to. So it just gives us a lot of leverage as coaches to kind of plug and choose what we need in the moment.
Do you feel like, J.B., you're getting the production from your second unit that you were hoping to coming into this year?
Yeah, I think there's been so much in and out that it's just hard to say 100% yes to that. But I think the guys understand what their job is, and I think they're capable of doing it, and I think we're getting there. But it's just, again, going to take a matter of guys. We brought them back, but initially they're all on minutes restrictions. So it's hard to get the productivity out of guys that can't play the full amount of minutes that you want them to. And I think we're working our way out of that. So we're getting there, but I think it's going to be a little bit more time needed to answer that 100%.
So to follow up on that, your starting five has always been so responsible for a lot of your production and impact, and your core four specifically within that. So, what do you need from your second unit, given how your roster is currently constructed?
If we're playing the game properly, they take advantage of the same opportunities that the first group does. What we're looking for, and again, it's a work in progress, is a feeling of an equal opportunity offense where we just throw the ball to the open man. And what I believe is, we have enough talent that if we just throw the ball to the open man, no matter who it is, something positive is going to happen, right? And you're going to see a stat sheet that's just stuffed with assist numbers, point numbers, shot totals, free throws, all those things. So we're not saying, Karis, you can only do this, right? We want a system where the defense is playing two here, just throw it to the one open man and let him make the next play.
With your players that are supposedly coming off the bench when everybody's healthier, getting minutes now, how dangerous do you feel like the depth of your lineup is for this roster?
Well, I think that's part of our strength when we're whole. And what it also allows people to do is you don't have to play 100 minutes and you don't have to run long stretches. So you can play hard, right, for your 6-8 minutes, and then you can bring in somebody who there's not going to be a huge drop off and they can pick us up. So guys don't have to settle in and take possessions off because they're trying to sustain a 10-minute or 12-minute run. All the time. If a guy gets it going, we'll let him run, obviously. But I think it allows, the guys who are in the starting lineup the freedom, to give more because they trust the guy coming off the bench can carry the load as well.
You talked about yesterday about the chemistry that's building and being able to enjoy the game of basketball again. How important is it for you guys to, when you're going to your bench players or some people out there, that energy continues no matter who's on the bench?
Well, that's what it's a team, right? We've always tried to create an environment where, the team is the most important thing, and no one individual was greater than the team. So it doesn't matter if you're, a two-way to an all-star, you should react and treat each other the same way. So that's where we're building. And again, it takes time to get that chemistry with new faces, but I see it coming. Last night, you go back and watch the film, and you just watch our bench and how involved our bench was, and they that's it, so it's coming. We're just going to keep working at it.
You guys are 6-2 in your last state. What do you feel like has led to that turnaround?
Better basketball.
No.
Yeah, you asked.
Yeah.
No, but I just think that, again, building a team takes time. And, everybody assumes if you just throw a bunch of dudes in the locker room, you have a team. That's not the case, right? So going through adversity, building trust, building chemistry, like those things take time. You know, again, we don't run a typical NBA defensive system. So new guys, you know, guys who go away for the summer and don't play any defense, like coming back, it takes a little bit of time. And then offensively, we've made some changes, right? We're not just a stagnant, stationary, middle of the floor pick and roll team anymore. Like there is more movement, more continuity, and that takes time. So it's the reps together, the experiences that we've gone through. But again, we're in the process of building team.
So in saying that, and you understanding that it is a process, there was a moment last year in mid-November where you kind of had a heart-to-heart in the locker room in Milwaukee. And then there was a moment again this year on the road trip where something like that happened as well. So like, how do you balance the idea that you know it's a process, you know it's going to take time, but early in the season you felt it necessary to do those kinds of things?
There is, you know, there's a feeling that you have and an understanding that you have to portray to your guys to make sure they have the same feeling you do, right? There is, you know, not getting things done because you don't execute, you're not competing, you know, or you're confused and don't understand, right? So there's different feelings, and, you know, my objective is always for our guys to understand clearly who we are, right, and how we play and how we control the two things every single night. You know, can we be the most competitive team and the most selfless team? So if I feel like we're not doing those things, then a conversation needs to be had so we get to that.
I know you've gotten a lot of time with Greg, but you've got a lot with Iman and Isaiah, but they've been down in the G League. I'm going to tabs on them. What have you seen from them so far? It's kind of early into their season.
I mean, again, I have high hopes for both of those guys. You know, it's just difficult because I would love to get them more minutes with us. It's just difficult, you know, with how it works in the roster guys that you carry. But, you know, Isaiah has proven time and time again that, you know, he's got a skill set. And he's got an NBA skill set. Imani, obviously, you know, playing at this level for the first time. But you see his ability to just score the basketball and how easy the game comes to him offensively. So, you know, those are things where I think it's, you know, it's great that we have the charge here in Cleveland so that there is that back and forth and there is that, like, they played, what is it today, Wednesday? They played Monday, but they were at the game with us yesterday, and now they're playing now, right? They play at 12 o'clock now. Yeah, so it's like, you know, it's great that they can have those experiences, and then we can have the same experiences with them.
But what has stood out for Imani, besides him having an NBA skill set, or Imani getting an experience? Is there anything specific that just stood out for Imani?
I mean, it's hard to say one particular thing that stands out because, again, you watch him, and you know, you watch how Isaiah, you know, his skill set impacts the game as a whole. You know, with the ball in his hands, how he can score it. Like, you watch him, how he leads the team. You know, there's so many different things. And then again, Imani's ability to just embrace the moment. I think, you know, when you're on, when you've been through the things that he's been through and been on the level that he's been treated at his whole life, you know, it's like, now you go and you earn it, and he's embraced that, you know, and hasn't looked at it sideways. All right, appreciate it, Isaac. No, well, you're all boy. Yes. You need a microphone?
Cleveland Cavaliers High School. J.B. Yesterday, you know, your team, you know, they were in the instant tournament. They needed, you know, a certain amount of points, you know, to get to Vegas. I know you're kind of disappointed that the team wasn't able to actually get the points that we needed, but were you happy about how, you know, the team played that night?
With the exception of one player, I was very happy with how the team played. I think Isaac Okoro let me down a little bit. There's more that he has to offer us, but everybody else was really, really good.
Well, will you communicate that to Isaac?
yeah. His agent will call me, I'm sure, and we'll talk. Appreciate y'all. Thanks.